Hello and welcome to Tech Daily, your daily source for all of today's tech news in 10 minutes or less. I'm Jacob Bodner. This is our latest show at Red Time Media. Simply social media, tech news, 10 minutes or less, just that simple. You can catch us live every weeknight at 7 p.m. at our Ustream channel at ustream.tv. Link is available in this episode right here if you're watching this after the fact. You can also check out our video RSS feed on iTunes, search Tech Daily, as well as the audio feed on iTunes as well, or your favorite RSS reader, whichever you prefer. Let's get into it, not waste any time. We only got 10 minutes. Let's go. Today's big story is the rumor that CNN is going to buy Mashable for around $200 million. Now, if you don't know, Mashable is the social media blog started by Peter Cashmore, and it is kind of one of the biggest probably social media blogs on the web, certainly one of the biggest tech blogs on the web as well. It is 20 million monthly uniquely visitors, and the rumor right now, according to Reuters blogger Felix Salomon, is that CNN is interested in buying Mashable, and that they haven't just been talking about buying Mashable, but there will be an announcement tomorrow, Tuesday, that a deal has been done for $200 million for CNN to acquire Mashable. This would obviously be a big boon to CNN. CNN has a really strong digital presence, something they've worked on heavily, not only in the blogosphere, but just having a really well-designed website, things that work well, all of the like. So this would be a big deal for CNN, especially for their blog reach, 20 million monthly uniquely visitors. And it would be a big addition to their tech reporting as well. Now, there has been reports that Peter Cashmore has told top executives and top staff members at Mashable that this is false, this is not actually happening, there's nothing to worry about. We're not being sold, but at the same time, that's pretty much what every CEO would do in this particular instance if something had leaked. So that would not really be a surprise at all. So we'll see tomorrow if this is actually true, or if this is just some kind of smokescreen that's being put up. But TechCrunch is reporting that Cashmore, quote, is denying the reports to senior level Mashable editors, quickly adding, but that might not mean anything. This is the big news right now out of South by Southwest, is that this might happen. Of course, Mashable being a giant social media blog. So that's your first big story. Second big story of the day is actually a television story to some degree. It was released today, and it came straight from the horse's mouth, that Steve Jobs was personally involved in trying to corral support from the entertainment industry for Apple TV and for Apple in general. CBS CEO Leslie Moonves revealed during a talk at the UCLA Entertainment Symposium that he had spoken with the Apple founder directly about providing content to subscription-based video services, an Apple subscription-based video service, but declined the invitation. Moonves was concerned about how signing on to such a service would impact existing revenue streams, including those from competing properties like Hulu. The CEO allegedly told Jobs at one point, quote, "You know more than me about 99% of things, but I know more about the television business." So obviously Apple is, and still is, trying to get a lot of content. It was just released today, the new Apple TV that was just announced will still not include content from places like Fox, places like Universal. Pretty much every syndicated content provider on the internet is struggling to find content, and has a very small ability to kind of get a cohesiveness and some unity in terms of the content that's provided everywhere. Apple's no different, and this would have been quite a boon if they were able to grab CBS, depending on depending on the severity of it, how much it was, but directly providing content to the subscription-based video service. But something obviously Apple is trying to deal with, and something Steve Jobs was trying to handle himself directly and head on. Some interesting news today after the Apple announcement. Nokia's Stephen Elop has been consistently speaking about how there's opportunities in the tablet market, and now it looks like Nokia will actually go about doing this. The suggestion is that a Q4 2012 release will be the earliest that Nokia would be able to offer its own tablet device. This is obviously a tablet running Windows 8. So a lot of people think Windows 8 is the biggest threat to the iPad, or I shouldn't even say threat, but the biggest opportunity for someone else to gain some market share. Nokia has an exclusive deal right now with Microsoft to create Windows 8 phones, and so it would be no surprise that they would go ahead and make Windows 8 tablets. It's being rumored that this Windows 8 tablet would be on a Snapdragon S4 processor chip from Qualcomm. So Digitimes is the one reporting this. They also note that Taiwanese ODM Compol Electronics is expected to perform the manufacturing for Nokia. 200,000 units will be the first run of it. And this is also in conjunction with Dell's announcement just a few days ago that we talked about on Status Update, which is that they're going to release an enterprise version of a Windows 8 tablet the exact day, according to Michael Dell, that the OS is released. Nokia is going to wait a little longer than that. They expect it to probably be later in the year, but nonetheless, they're going to also try and go ahead and get in this market. Nokia's device will be more consumer-oriented, where obviously Dell's device is business-oriented. Also, in mobile news, AT&T LTE is continuing to push on, well behind Verizon still, but they're still going after it. 12 markets will be covered by an additional 12 markets, rather, will be covered by early summer. So if you're in one of the following cities, take note because you will have AT&T LTE coming by the summer. Cleveland, Ohio, Akron, Ohio, Canton, Ohio, Naples, Florida, Bloomington, Indiana, Lafayette, Indiana, Muncie, Indiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, New Orleans, St. Louis, Bryan, College Station, Texas, and Staten Island, New York will all have LTE come summer. So if you're an AT&T customer, rejoice. You will have 4G LTE in those markets by the summer. AT&T playing big catch-up with Verizon in terms of the LTE game, but actually doing a pretty good job of getting out LTE coverage and getting it out in a pretty quick pace. If you're looking for an iPad and you're going to go on the online store and not wait in line on March 16th, you may have to wait a little longer now. The latest generation of Apple's iPad is slated to hit U.S. stores March 16th, but that date is no longer mentioned on Apple's site, at least for online pre-orders. We talked about on Status Update that pre-orders were delayed to March 19th. It now looks that regardless of what iPad model you are getting, the estimated shipping time is now 2 to 3 weeks. So if you want one right away, your best option is probably this Friday, March 16th, to go wait in line at a store, or you can pre-order it and wait a couple of weeks and have it in your hands mailed to you. And in also some more mobile news for Pinterest users out there, and there's a lot of them now. Pinterest is obviously hotcakes right now. They are actively working on an iPad application. This would be their first mobile application. In an interview with the New York Times, Ben Silbermann said the app, and he is one of the co-founders of Pinterest, by the way, said an app is in the works but did not name a launch date. So it will be there. It's just like we heard with just yesterday, actually. We heard that Instagram is working on an Android app. And it's been like 2 years they've been talking about working on an Android app. They said really soon we'll have it out. So really soon, if you're an iPad user, you'll have a Pinterest app. Makes sense. Pinterest is a very visual website. It would make sense to have it on the iPad. I think it would actually be a fantastic interface to utilize Pinterest on. Pinterest is only saying right now they're going to release an iPad app because they think it's the best experience. Not only that, their in-house staff of about 20 are most familiar with iOS, so they'd have to hire outside workers and engineers to work on an Android app. So don't expect an Android app right now, but if you are an iPad user and a Pinterest user, those two may collide pretty soon. And finally today, some interesting numbers in terms of web shopping and online shopping. Nielsen released a chart, some data that took into account 5,000 Android and iOS smartphones in the U.S., and what it finds is actually when it comes to shopping, mobile web trumps apps. So a lot of outlets will have applications that you can install on your phone or your mobile device, iPad, whatever, and you can search around the internet and buy things. Well, it looks like most people turn to mobile websites. Men are more likely to use apps. Women are more likely to use the mobile web. And obviously men are more likely to visit Best Buy, while women are more likely to visit Target and Walmart. eBay and Amazon, though, cross gender lines. It doesn't matter who you are, you're on eBay or Amazon. And so there you go. It looks like while apps are kind of taking off for shopping experiences, people still prefer the mobile web interface. And that's all the important tech news and social media news that you need to know for today, Monday, March the 12th, 2012. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of Tech Daily. Until then, you can email us at td@redtie.tv, tweet me at Jacob Bodner on Twitter, comment on this, let us know what you think, and we'll elaborate on all these stories and so much more in the next episode of Status Update coming up on Sunday, March 18th, 2012. That will be live streamed at 7 p.m. Have a great day, everybody. Adios.